Your mind is constantly working, even when it doesn't need to. It's always scanning, predicting, analyzing, looking for any threat, any mistake, any possible scenario that could go wrong. Not because the world is dangerous, but because your brain was built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. A world where every sound in the dark mattered, where every silence meant danger, where every decision could be a matter of survival. But today, the threats your brain invents aren't lions or cliffs. They're messages you haven't answered, problems that aren't real, futures that haven't happened. And yet, your brain treats them with the same intensity as physical danger. That's why overthinking feels like drowning in thoughts that don't even matter. The brain is trying to keep you safe by imagining every possible outcome. But in doing so, it creates the very anxiety it's trying to prevent. You worry about things that don't exist. You rehearse conversations that will never happen. You overanalyze moments that were actually simple. Not because you're weak or dramatic, but because your brain is trying to protect you in the only way it knows. Your mind thinks that staying alert means staying safe. It believes that if it can predict every problem, you'll never be caught off guard. But the truth is, constant prediction is its own kind of trap. You can't live in the present when your thoughts are always somewhere else, somewhere dangerous, somewhere uncertain, somewhere imaginary. And the strangest part? The brain never asks if these problems are real. It just fires alarms. It just assumes danger. It just creates storms, so it has something to fight. Because a quiet mind feels unsafe to a brain that's addicted to activity. Silence feels threatening. Calm feels unfamiliar. Stillness feels wrong. And so it creates noise, mental noise, just to feel like it's doing its job. But you're not your brain. You're the one experiencing it. You're the awareness behind the noise. And that awareness is what gives you the ability to choose which thoughts matter and which ones don't. When you observe your mind instead of obeying it, things begin to change. Thoughts lose their weight. Fears lose their urgency. You start to notice how many problems weren't really problems, just echoes of an old survival system trying to stay relevant. The brain wants to protect you, but sometimes it doesn't know how to stop. It keeps inventing storms long after the sky is cleared. It keeps replaying moments long after they've ended. It keeps warning you about dangers that were never there. But you can break that cycle. You can teach your mind a new pattern. You can remind it that not everything requires a reaction. Not every thought deserves attention. And not every feeling is a threat. The more you practice stepping back, the more you reclaim your mental space. You start to separate what is real from what is imagined, what is happening from what your brain fears might happen. And slowly, the storms lose their power. They stop defining your day. They become passing weather instead of a permanent climate. And with time, you start to notice something else. The mind isn't your enemy. It's just outdated software running on ancient instincts. You can update it. You can retrain it. You can teach it that not every silence is a threat, and not every uncertainty is a danger. The brain adapts, slowly but consistently, reshaping itself based on what you pay attention to. When you choose calm over chaos, awareness over fear, presence over imaginary scenarios, your mind begins to mirror that choice. It starts generating fewer storms and more clarity, fewer alarms and more understanding. And eventually, The thoughts that once felt overwhelming become nothing more than passing shadows. Reminders that you've outgrown the world your brain still thinks you live in.